from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Breaking news, crews are currently on scene on County Road 17. That's 3 miles south of Horace for a vehicle versus pedestrian crash. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie is on scene. Courtney, what do you know?
Hi, Callie. We got here about half an hour ago. There are still a ton of emergency crews working on scene here. They've got us held back pretty far, but we'll let you take a look here. I just spoke with an official from the State Patrol. He tells me that 3 people were taken by ambulance to the hospital in Fargo. He tells me what happened here tonight is that a car was coming around this icy corner when they slid off the road and into a ditch. That's when another car came along to try and help tow them out. As they were working to do that, a third vehicle came along, slid off the road and into those people. That's really all the information that we have right now. We don't know the extent of the injuries, but officials do say that it's looking like everyone is going to be okay. And they say they're going to keep investigating and that they'll be sending out a press release shortly, so we'll be looking for that. For now, reporting live in Horace, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
Thanks, Courtney. Stick with Valley News Live for the latest update. A Christmas of weather extremes across the country. There's record high temperatures in some areas and a winter system that could mean trouble for holiday travelers as it moves east. Here in the valley, we've been dealing with foggy weather and slick roads. Let's check in with Nathan to see when we'll lose this fog. Nathan, when will things be looking up?
Yeah, Callie, we're watching some fog and even some snow showers moving in at this hour, but it looks like we'll have to get through the night and through the morning tomorrow before things do look to improve. Look at our Dakota Magic Casino sky cam at this hour. Windy and some snowflakes moving across the light there as we see that look there. And we're seeing this more and more, especially in our southern neighborhoods and in our Minnesota neighborhoods at this hour. And that snow, of course, mixed with some of that fog, is reducing visibilities to less than 2 miles in quite a few places, including a 1/4 mile visibility in Langdon, 1/2 mile visibility in Jamestown. Here in Fargo, we're at 1 1/4 mile visibility with that fog and some flurries moving in. A dense fog advisory goes for another 2 hours for those South Dakota neighborhoods there in gray. For the rest of us, the purple, that's a winter weather advisory. The main concern here is that snow looks to fall onto those roadways that have already seen that layer of ice accumulate on them, Callie. So we're watching that very carefully. And if folks need to go out this evening, of course, they need to make sure to watch out for rapidly changing road conditions here. But we'll talk more about this system and also look ahead to our weekend travel coming up in a couple minutes.
All right, thank you for that, Nathan.
Yep.
All units in a condo were evacuated and multiple crews were on scene at the Cedar Home condos for a gas leak. The call came in just before 5 p.m. to the 3000th block of 10th Street North in Fargo for a residential gas line that broke below the meter. Crews dug through the frost to get to the line so Xcel Energy could pinch it off. Crews are continuing to monitor the area. A huge fire displaced more than 200 people staying at a Minneapolis hotel that was serving as a homeless shelter. The fire started early Christmas morning at the Francis Drake Hotel apartments. Firefighters extinguished the bulk of the fire on the second floor, but it spread to the attic and eventually through the roof. 3 people were taken to the hospital for treatment. The cause of the fire is still unknown. The Francis Drake was built in 1926 and was once a luxury hotel. It's been converted into temporary housing. A frequent Target customer is asking the Minneapolis-based retail giant to stop using plastic bags. Protest organizer Teresa Carter and other Target shoppers plan to deliver pages with more than 455,000 signatures to the corporation's headquarters on Thursday. Traditionally, it's one of the busiest shopping days of the year. The petition calls for Target to commit to eliminating plastic bags that Carter says are choking the earth. She says other retailers, including IKEA and Costco, have already nixed the plastic bags. A Target spokeswoman says the company has taken several steps to reduce the use of plastic. A Fargo man organized a group of volunteers to make sure no one was hungry or alone on Christmas. The First United Methodist Church helped feed more than 300 people today. The church has been hosting these Christmas dinners for the past 3 years. All the fixings were available there: mashed potatoes, coleslaw, pies, rolls, and coffee. Church members donated the food, making sure everyone who arrived on Christmas got a meal.
If we can help somebody just for an hour, it helps. And if they have a place to go.
I had nowhere to eat, and coming here was great. I mean, the food was great, the people are great.
First United Methodist Church in Fargo also feeds people on Wednesday nights. All you have to do is show up from 4:30 to 6:30. Fargo's first Christmas baby was born at Sanford this morning. Baby Colleen was born to parents Sam and Jared Metler at 8:30 this morning. She weighed 7 pounds 2 ounces. The second Christmas baby of the day was delivered this afternoon at Sanford as well. Essentia Health officials tell us they haven't had any yet. Every year, a group page on social media posts the most Christmas light displays in the Bismarck area. After Matthew Lundberg's music system failed, he put out a call to the community and says the response was amazing. Lundberg says adding an FM transmitter this year was the biggest improvement. After it stopped working, someone reached out over Facebook and donated their transmitter to keep the light show going.
It was a shock, surprised. Took me a second to realize what was going on because it was just out of the blue, wasn't expecting it.
The holiday display will run through January 1st. From the traditional to the unconventional to the downright wild, millions mark the Christmas holiday today in their own unique ways. Sarah Doloff has a story.
Around the world, Christmas sights, sounds, and celebrations. In the biblical city of Bethlehem, morning mass at the Church of the Nativity.
Peace be with you. And with your spirit.
Thousands gathered to worship at New York's St. Patrick's Cathedral. In Rome, St. Peter's Square welcomed tens of thousands to hear the Pope's message of hope. And in Paris, Notre Dame Cathedral, still too damaged by fire, was unable to host holiday services for the first time since the French Revolution. Clergy and congregation meeting at a neighboring Gothic church instead.
Merry Christmas!
For many, Christmas was anything but traditional. Beachgoers donned Santa hats on Sydney's Bondi Beach.
It's always been on my bucket list to do it.
On the outskirts of Berlin, a different sort of swim, a polar plunge in 41-degree waters. More brave souls jumped into a London lake.
It was cold. It was cold, but it was fun.
And in South Korea, a taste of home for U.S. troops stationed far from the familiar, including gingerbread cookies.
The meal was actually really great because it reminded me of things that were being made back home.
Christmas memories, old and new, no matter where or how one is celebrating. Sarah Doloff, NBC News.
Travelers going through the Minot International Airport were met with a fun holiday tradition of their own on Christmas Eve. Buddy the Elf was there for his annual Christmas visit. Buddy greeted, sang to, and begged people not to leave the city while dressed in his signature elf outfit, yellow tights and all. It's certainly a unique and fun way to bring some holiday cheer to work.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
And Merry Christmas, and of course, thank you for spending your Christmas evening with us here at Valley News Live. Kind of a Christmassy scene on our Luther Family Ford Skycam. Some flurries now showing up there across the light in the parking lot. So we went from some fog to some freezing drizzle. Now we have some flurries here. So we have the whole wintry buffet of precipitation, and this is all combining to make for some slippery roadways across, especially southern. Oh, and there's a snowplow going across the I-29 right there as we speak. So we're seeing, again, some slippery roadways across the area, especially in southeastern North Dakota at this hour. And today, with the freezing drizzle and the cold temperatures, we saw a lot of this hoarfrost that has developed on a lot of those cold surfaces. A beautiful wintry shot from Pat in Kindred. Thanks so much, Pat, for sending in the frost there, and very festive on the mailbox. I do enjoy that for this Christmas holiday. Here's a satellite and radar seeing some of that snow start to work into the Fargo area. It looks like Grand Forks, things are still mainly quiet. Most of the snow is north of the Grand Forks area, but the James River, Jamestown is seeing the reduced visibilities there because of that pocket of snowfall. Seeing some of that snow also moving toward Devil's Lake at this hour. More of the organized snowfall is moving up in our southern and eastern neighborhoods, and even including up along the international line. So we're going to still see this moving up through our Minnesota counties. So our Minnesota counties look to see most of the accumulation when everything's said and done with this system. But it is warm out there in our Minnesota areas in the upper 20s to low 30s. So that's more of a wet snow in that area. It's a more dry snow over here in the Devil's Lake area where it's middle teens. So it's much cooler out there, a little bit more of a dry air mass for those folks out to the west. So the hour by hour shows again that pocket of snowfall moving up through Minnesota by morning time. So by 7:30 tomorrow, if you're out traveling early tomorrow, you've got snow falling on this, basically this ground that has ice accumulation on it. So that's going to be slippery for you tomorrow morning, especially on untreated roadways, sidewalks, or side roads. Temperatures tomorrow morning, teens and 20s, fairly steady from where they are right now. By the early afternoon, that system clears. Still some clouds lingering in Minnesota, but drier air moves in from the west, along with some colder air as well. Northwesterly winds kick in, could see some blowing snow as we go through the evening hours tomorrow, but then high pressure kicks in and cooler air joins us early Friday morning, single digits to teens there for Friday morning. So expecting still Minnesota mainly seeing most of the area north of I-94, 1 to 3 inches south of I-94, nothing at all to maybe an inch. Could be an isolated pocket of 2 to 4 inches in northern Minnesota. Now, looking ahead to the weekend, Friday looks good, high pressure is in, but for the weekend early, we're seeing some snowfall moving in, mainly in our southern and eastern neighborhoods. And you can see as we go through the day Saturday into Sunday, some wind does look to pick up as well. And this could be heavy at times, especially in our southeastern neighborhoods, and could also affect those people traveling through Minneapolis or toward or back from Minneapolis. So we'll watch this very carefully and stay tuned, of course, very closely to that forecast for the weekend, as that could cause some travel impacts and difficulties, especially toward the south and east. Temperatures for the weekend in the 20s, but then as we head toward the new year next week, we're going to start with temperatures near 20, but we are quiet.
And I see that your tie is very fitting with the weather forecast.
Very fitting, yeah. You got some snowman for the possible snowmen that may be made in Minnesota tomorrow.
Thank you, Nathan.
Yep.
Later on Valley News Live at 10, police in Boston discovered a woman and 2 young children who were unconscious on a sidewalk. What we know right after the break.